a minute.
You're going live.
Everybody in place.
Well, help me get here. Slider.
Okay, Catherine.
You're live.
All rise. We'll have Aaron Crow of Rock Lane Adoption Tabernacle lead us in a word of prayer.
Lord, thank you for this day, Lord. We're thankful for who you are, Lord. We're thankful, Lord, that you allowed us together here, our city council members and our mayor, Lord, to be able to have this meeting, to be able to lead our community in the right direction. Lord, we ask, Lord, that everything that we do will be in obedience to your will, Lord, that everything we do will lift up your name, Lord, and bring glory and honor to you, Lord, that everywhere we go, everything that we do, people will be able to see you through us, Lord, the actions that we do, how we carry ourselves, how we speak towards them, that we might be able to show your love in everything that we do. I'm asking you bless this meeting. Again, Lord, asking you to be with our council members and our mayor, Lord, so you continue to lead us, Lord. We thank you for that. Most importantly, Lord, that you sent your son to die for our sins, that we might be able to have eternal life with him and be able to have a personal relationship. We love you, Lord. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Will you lead us in the pledge? Aaron.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Got to get some money's worth out of it. Okay, next item on the agenda is roll call for Faulkner.
Steve Arnott,
Here.
Jim Hughes,
Here.
Linda Boggs. I'm here.
The quorum being present, I declare the September 21st, 2020 council meeting of the city of Dunbar in order. First item on the agenda is oh, I'm sorry. I keep skipping that every time.
You keep leaving me out.
Okay. Next item is approval of minutes for the September 8th, 2020 meeting.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written for the council meeting on September the 8th, 2020. Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Fleischman to approve the minutes of the September 8th, 2020 meeting as presented, seconded by Councilman Hughes. Any comments, clarifications, questions? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Now, the next item on the agenda is invoices for payment.
Mr. Chairman, in the finance meeting, we reviewed our invoices. We recommend the full council. So I put this in form of a motion, the payment of $251,519.35.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Hudson to approve payment of invoices totaling $251,519.35, seconded by Councilman Scipio. Any comments, clarifications, or questions? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. First item on the agenda, next item on the agenda is first reading of ordinance 789.
Ordinance 789, an ordinance to raise the compensation of the employees of the city of Dunbar. Compensation of all full-time employees of the city of Dunbar who are
Compensated.
Yes, thank you. Compensated on an hourly basis shall be increased beginning October the 4th of 2020 by 30 cents an hour, per hour. This will be according to the payroll procedures of the city in compliance with state and federal law. All department heads, city building inspector, public work director, parks and recreation director, will be compensated on $1,000 annually. Police chief will be compensated on $1,000 annually. Fire department will be lieutenants, captains, assistant chief. Firefighters will be a raise of 30 cents hourly. Deputy chief and chief will be $1,000 annually. Police department, patrolman, corporal, sergeant, lieutenant, and captain will all receive 30 cents an hour.
Ms. Clerk, also there was an amendment added in there. When you do the motion amendment, that was before we left off the fireman by accident. So that was the rank of fireman, which is,
You read it.
All right.
okay, I just, sorry.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio to approve the first reading of ordinance 789, granting pay raises as detailed in the ordinance. Seconded by Councilman Fleshman. Any further comments, clarifications, or questions? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the lease agreement for the new garbage packer.
I'll make a motion that we approve a lease agreement with Country Roads Leasing for a 2021 garbage truck for 5 years, monthly payments of $2,440.80.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio to enter into a 5-year lease agreement with Country Roads Leasing for the purchase of a 2020, or for the leasing of a 2021 garbage packer truck with a monthly payment on the 5-year lease of $2,440.80. Seconded by Councilman Fleshman, or Councilman Hudson. Any questions, clarifications, or comments? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is thermal imaging cameras.
Where I move that we approve the purchase of 2 thermal imaging cameras at a cost of $5,390, with the understanding that the community fire department will purchase 2 additional cameras.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Arnott to approve the purchase of 2 thermal imaging cameras at a cost of $5,390, with the understanding that the community fire department will purchase 2 additional cameras. Seconded by Councilman Scipio. Any comments, clarifications, or questions? I think for the record, I think during the Finance Committee, it was stated that this will upgrade some outdated thermal camera equipment that we have at the fire departments. Any further comments? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is by Chief Thornhill. It's discussion of the future status of engine 552. I think I gave you a letter summarizing that in, when we came to the meeting this evening, but for the record, if he would go through that information with us.
If you all got the letter, I tried to lay out what the action plan is and with most realistic numbers that we have at this point. The one number I know for sure is the sale price on the existing truck. That is a locked-in number of $113,000. The truck number, I think, is $297 and change. That number I don't see going. I see that staying the same. What I don't have is the exact payoff, and we won't have that until the exact day we call and get an exact number. But it's right at $70,000, give or take. So the plan there, of course, is to sell the existing truck, pay the existing loan off the same day, and then the remainder of the money will be used as a down payment on the new truck. And long story short, that puts us back right at about the same cost as we paid for the truck we're replacing. So the payments from the community fire department will be around that $26,000 mark. Again, we won't know those numbers until we actually do it. And a lot of it depends on the time we start the lease purchase. Usually we can roll that window out if we want to. That does change the payment. So a few little things, but we'll be right there. And that number is taken care of by the state funds and county funding. Reverse county funding and then state funding. So there'll be no additional cost going out of the community fire department that we can foresee. But I'll be more than happy to answer anybody's questions.
If you would you clarify? I don't think a lot of people understand what we understand about the difference between the community fire department and the Dunbar Fire Department.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sure will. I'll do my best. The Dunbar Community Fire Department is a separate corporation by itself that receives county and state tax funding to the fire department. Now, and that is separate from the city funding that, of course, pays for equipment, salaries, buildings, and what the city does in conjunction with that is the community fire department purchases the truck. The city, in turn, places insurance coverage on the truck and handles the general maintenance and repair of the truck. That's the way that works. And those monies are not intermingled between the county commission monies and city monies. It's kept separate.
I think that addresses it. So, in essence, the city of Dunbar, other than the maintenance expense, will be investing nothing in getting the new truck.
Right.
I mean, the insurance will carry over from the existing truck when it goes away and be transferred over to the new truck. So there's not going to be any realistic expense to the city, hopefully for 5 or 6 years, where we start seeing.
As a matter of fact, I'm hoping just the opposite, that this, with the warranties, and you gotta realize the warranties, there's a warranty on the motor, a warranty on the pump, all those warranties are 5 years and up. So there shouldn't be any more of these $8,000–9,000 repairs that we're seeing every year on this truck. We should at least stop that for 5 more years and stop the bleeding on that. That is our goal. We just, normally the community fire department buys a truck. We normally finance for 10 years. That puts us at about that $26,000 payment. And then we normally, when that's paid off, we roll that truck in as a reserve truck that actually runs as a tanker truck to outside of the city. And then we purchase another truck. This truck, we're still owed 3 more years, and there's no way this truck is going to make it another 10 after that. It's going to continue to cost the city a boatload of money, and we're afraid that we're just afraid we've got a problem. The best thing we can do is get rid of that problem and save the city money on repairs on the truck that we just, reliability alone, it just looks like a bad investment for everybody.
What is the brand that you're trading in?
I'm sorry?
What is the brand that you're trading in? What company?
We're trading through, it's a Pierce. Pierce is the actual brand of the fire truck. The company is Finley Fire.
So Pierce is what's coming in.
Yeah, well, Pierce is going out, Pierce coming right back in.
Same brand, different.
Same brand, but we are getting away from the international cab and chassis
Oh, okay.
and the international motor that we've had the issues. We're going back to the Freightliner cab and chassis with the Cummins engine, where we had local, everything that we see, you're not having these troubles on the Cummins engine like the international. So we're getting totally away from all of that, going a different way.
What year is 552?
2013.
2013.
It's our newest truck that is the most problematic truck we have too. Yeah. But if there's any other questions on that, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Mr. Mayor, could I add something to that, please? I've told you this before. Since this is being live streamed for the citizens of the city of Dunbar, the Dunbar Fire Department started out as a volunteer department. And then we went to paid in 1934 or 36, I can't remember. That's the agreement that was reached. Because nobody wanted to service that area outside the city out there, retired Little Tower. Tower Mountain didn't want to run it, it was too far. Charleston didn't want to pull with it. So that was the agreement that was made between the county and the city of Dunbar, that we would continue coverage out there, that they would provide us money every year through their fire department system to be able to buy new trucks. So almost all the equipment in our fire department is owned by the community. The city has a chief's car, the aerial, and one bumper. And I'm not saying that to downgrade the city, believe me, because that's mainly what the community department's for, is to furnish all the equipment it can furnish, which helps out both areas.
Thank you. Anybody else? This is a no action item, so.
Right.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is Kids Night Out.
Mayor, I'd like to make that a motion we approve $2,581.80 for the Dunbar Safe Community for funding the Kids Night Out.
I'll second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Hughes to provide funding in the amount of $2,581.80 for the Kids Night Out program, seconded by Councilwoman August. Any clarifications, comments, questions? I mean, this is the city stepping up. We haven't been able to do any of the kids events that we've planned so far this year. So this is an attempt to try to do something for the kids here in the city. We did do the sprinkle park, but all the other programs have been put on hold because of COVID-19 restrictions. So, anybody else got anything to add?
Just the committee on this has really been working hard, and what they're doing, they're purchasing 200 and some shirts, 200 real nice backpacks. It's got the Dunbar PD logo on it with Dunbar Police on it. The shirts are the dry lock shirts, very, very nice shirts with the Dunbar Community Watch logo on them. The Women's Club is getting involved in putting goodies in every one of the bags, and volunteers are putting different things in bags for kids. We're over past out about 200 of these. If we do get delayed and not be able to do, we're still going to go ahead and distribute it to the schools. If we don't get it through the schools, we'll do it at the Christmas parade. At least these kids are going to get something out of all this. It's going to all have Dunbar stuff on it. And also the movie night, we're going to do a movie night, along with this. So hopefully we don't get shut down again before it's already been postponed once already. Good thing.
If somebody has something else to add, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval to enter into negotiations with the purchase of 1309 Lightner Avenue.
I make a motion, we enter into negotiations for the removal of asbestos and demolition to be separate. This is right.
This is the.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, I was back on that. Negotiation for the purchase of 1309 Lightner Avenue for delinquent taxes.
Second.
Disregard for asbestos.
We're even up now. There's been a motion by Councilman Fleshman to approve entering into negotiations for the purchase of 1309 Lightner Avenue for delinquent taxes, seconded by Councilman Hudson. Any further comments or clarifications? Excuse me. Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the repair of the 208 garbage truck fuel injection system. I had it wrong on the agenda and hydraulic system.
Make a motion that we approve, repairs to 2008 garbage truck, city motors, amount of $4,174.05.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio to approve repairs to the fuel injection system on the 2008 garbage truck in the amount of $4,174.05 by Matheny Motors, seconded by Councilman Fleshman. Any comments, clarifications, questions? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, before we go into our reports at the finance meeting, we had brought to our attention an item that needed to be added to the agenda. And due to the, what I want to make a motion is we add an item to this one as well, but then when we get to the item, the citizens will be able to see it is an item of emergency due to the safety of neighbors. But I'd like to make a motion we add an emergency item to this agenda.
There's been a motion by Councilman Hudson to add an item to the agenda, seconded by Councilman Arnott. Any questions, comments, clarifications? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to add to the agenda, to have the building inspector to have asbestos removal in amount of $9,000, not to exceed $9,000 for the property at 215 West Virginia Avenue.
Second.
And oh, I forgot, I'm within 7 days. Sorry.
What's that, business days or?
7 working days. Calendar days. Calendar.
Okay, there's been a motion by Councilwoman Thompson to accept bids for the removal of the asbestos at 215 West Virginia Avenue at a not to exceed $9,000. And in the event that a state-approved contractor can do it for less, then it would be awarded to them, but no one outside of that criteria. Seconded by Councilman Hughes. Any further comments, clarifications, or questions?
Just for those that are watching, again, at first we say emergency item, you say asbestos, but what it is, it's become a community problem. There's been citizens actually accosted by homeless living there, et cetera, so that's why it is reason this one. So just clarification.
Or somebody gets hurt.
And this has to be done before it can be done.
This is a condemned house that's not suitable for rehabilitation or habitation. So the first step is the asbestos removal, and the second step will be the demolition of the structure itself. So once we get the asbestos removed, we will come back to council for approval for the demolition. Anybody have anything else for clarification? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries.
Who said-
Connie Thompson made the motion, Jim Hughes seconded it.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll get down to reports. Chief Moss.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I apologize for stepping out, but my shift out there is juveniles that were out here talking to them. Our applications were due on the 17th for our hiring on October 3rd. We ended up with 80 turned in applications. That's the highest number. I believe retired captain, we've never seen 80. That doesn't mean they showed up taking the test, but we're hopeful. Again, that's October 3rd. Thank the clerk and the mayor for all their help in getting us to where we are on that. I know last council meeting we talked about a couple of significant wrecks and drugs and people driving when you're setting up your events at churches, whatever, to do it carefully. Just today alone, we had 2 drug DUI arrests. That's just on day shift alone. Seeing more of them on day shift instead of night shift. So again, be careful when you're setting up even if it's your family thing on a public property. If you're near a roadway, think about consequences could happen. On October 24th, I gave all the councilmen a flyer to DEA drug take-back program that they've done, but we've enrolled in it this year to participate in that. Basically on the 24th, Saturday, from 10 to 2, you can turn in unwanted, unused drugs, prescription, over the counter, and then they'll dispose of it. But we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to take them all weekend, Friday through Sunday. You can call 911, the non-emergency number. Another way it's worded, it says we'll pick them up to your house, but if you can pass that along and help us get the information out, we'll pick them up at those people's house, not your house. I believe that's going to be in the sanitation bill flyer for October. Municipal. So if they call any time through the month of October, an officer will go pick them up. We'll put them in the box there at the station and turn them in Monday. But that keeps those drugs out of the water system when people flush them, the toilet, keeps them from throwing them away. And then as people go through trash, we don't have that problem. And if they're laying around the house, chances are children, grandkids, or whatever could get into them. So we're just asking the councilman right now to help spread that word around through your avenues of travel. They can call, we'll come pick them up, or then bring them by the station. We'll help make this community a little bit safer, make your home safer. With that, take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Next is our Chief Thornhill.
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, thank you for the raises. We appreciate that. I do.
You haven't got them yet.
Well, thank you for at least considering. I'll say that. Forward is forward, every little bit helps. I appreciate it, especially considering what we've been through and what we may be heading into. Just like the police department, with their applications, we had a meeting last week with our civil service board. The mayor was present, Greg was present too, I think. We are going to accept applications October 1st through October 23rd. Those applications can be obtained at the fire department, We're actually going to push it more online. We're going to fix it where they can download them off our website. We'd rather do that than have all the people coming there. So if they can come there and get them, but those have to be turned into the city clerk's office. And we'll be testing on November 7th, pending any crazy changes with COVID or whatever. And the reason for all this urgency is our hiring list is dead. It is completely out of use. So we're trying to move that forward as quickly as we can. Trying to get ahead of Thanksgiving and mainly trying to get ahead of flu seasons and all these other things. So that's in the works for the fire department. We don't have an immediate opening, but we do by law have to have a list of potentials in case something comes up. So the probationary firefighter that the city hired 6 months ago, believe it or not, has taken his practical skills test and he scored 100% on that. That's out here pulling hose and pumping trucks and doing that. If all goes well, Thursday he will take his written test, which usually takes about 5-6 hours. It's pretty detailed. So, and I look for him to do really well on that, but he's taking his make or break test from our perspective and finish it up this week, pending anything else that pops up. Now for the bad news. Friday, the state of West Virginia Office of Emergency Services dropped a memo out to all fire departments in the state of West Virginia telling us we can no longer respond to medical related emergencies because we weren't properly licensed through the Office of Emergency Services. Now that's news to me, it's news to, I can't find anybody that's not news to. No one knew that there was a legislative law on the books that apparently has been on there since 2011, 2014-ish, that said fire departments must license. The way we operate, ourselves and the cities around us and the volunteer fire departments in the county operate under the licensure of Kanawha County EMS. And we have a medical director at the county level that is the medical director for all the fire department EMTs, because that licensure is for me individually and for every EMT individually. It's not necessarily a department thing. The memo, of course, you can imagine how crazy that created everything Friday, and we worked the phones, we worked all through the weekend. And the best news I can tell you is the county commission, which is a very big supporter of fire departments in the county. The county commission's involved, they have a legal team involved, and they are kind of taking the reins and running with it to see what resolution lies ahead. The only thing we've received is the memo that went out has now been rescinded. However, that doesn't rescind the legislative law that was brought to everyone's attention. So we, as of now, through the county level Office of Emergency Services, we are still not being dispatched on medical related emergencies. That's the county-wide policy. Now, I have requested that we be dispatched on cardiac arrests because we are, as a firefighter, certified in CPR and with an AED. Whether we'll get dispatched or not, I don't know. I requested that, but the policy now is a blanket policy across the board of no dispatching fire departments on medical-related emergencies. The reason I tell you all this is there's no doubt in my mind somebody's going to suffer as a result of this, and we're doing everything we can do. And we've got the right people involved that have the right legal team involved that can get us the answers, because you can't just go in and undo a legislative law overnight. So I made the mayor aware of it just as soon as we got something in writing confirming to stop all responses. And I'll keep the mayor abreast as to each step that I know. So bear with us. And, it's kind of out of our hands at this point. What they want, the state office wants every fire department to apply for licensure through the state office. Now what that means is the city itself will have to apply for licensure, and that will be a license to run an EMS agency, which then means you'll have to accept the liability of that EMS agency, and you'll have to hire a medical director to oversee that. So I'm not so sure that the cities are going to jump on board on this. There's a lot of questions to be asked legally, and there's a lot of responsibility and a lot of liability that's up in the air, wondering out there, and of course, a lot of expense that I have no idea what that's going to be. So that's the angle they want. That's supposedly what the law interprets. I'll let the mayor know as soon as I know something, and he can spread the info out. So that's all I have. Sorry for everybody's time. Got winded, but this is something dear to my heart. It bothers me. It has bothered me since Friday. The fire department is there to help people, not to stand there and say, well, we can't do it because of this. I don't like that. I don't like that answer. When somebody's dying, that's not a good answer. I don't like it. It puts the fire department in a really, really, really bad place. But right now, we're not being dispatched. If somebody walks up to me and they're having a heart attack, I'm probably going to help them. I'll deal with the outfall later, but I'm not going to let somebody die right in front of me. That's just not who I am. We're not being dispatched, so it's out of our control. As soon as anything is in our control or we get some updates, I'll need to make sure and let the mayor know, and he can get that information back out to you all. That's where we're at. If anybody's got any more questions, I'll take it.
There was a wording at the bottom of that thing that they sent out. If you are requested by medical responders, which would be EMS, if you're requested it, you can respond. Why doesn't the county commission just have anytime an ambulance is dispatched, automatically request fire departments to answer the responders?
The only answer I can give you is I talked to them this morning, and with Joe Lynch, the actual director at Kanawha County. I talked to him this morning in a conference call with a bunch of us, and the answer that comes up now is liability. The state office says that the medical director and the licensure for Kanawha County ambulance, which does not cover us in a sense if we would go out and do something wrong, or if we would make a mistake, or some attorney thinks we made a mistake. Is where I'm going with that. They're not comfortable at this point with the answers that they've been given. So
That was just a thought when I was reading.
yeah, and they were supposed to have a meeting at 11 a.m. with the state, and we have not. We haven't heard anything since then. So that's probably why. No one's comfortable. Yeah.
Where's the nearest, like they don't come out of your old station anymore, where do they come out of?
No, they're coming out of Roxman Road, right there by Kimba. And what I did on Friday, when all this happened, I got a hold of Kanawha County Ambulance. And what they've done is they put like an extra, they have a name for it, I can't remember, but it's basically an extra truck of paramedics that are licensed under them. They have strategically placed those in the communities.
Okay.
Because that was my concern, is, if this ambulance is busy, so they did, and they put those on the road in the city here Friday. So we had extra resources in the city, to help deal with that extra cost.
Called move up.
They called them like not a crash crew, but something along that lines of a quick deployment crew or something and they assured me that they would take care of the city here. Because that was my big concern.
80% of the time, you're one of the first ones there anyway, the police department.
That's why this program started,
Yeah.
because there wasn't enough medic units.
That's
the population of the counties. Exactly right.
Not it's sometimes 10 minutes before a paramedic or an EMT shows up, before you actually all get there.
It's a real serious problem. It's dear to my heart. It really is.
Wow. I had a heart attack call one time that dispatched the ambulance out of Cabot Street.
Yep.
It's amazing what slips through the legislative agenda over the years. And, the other example was that it with us that you can no longer suspend someone's driver's license for not paying any of their fines for speeding or anything else. I mean, it's, the only way you can get a license suspended is by points now, or DUI. I mean, those are the only two ways. And if somebody comes in and wants to have their license reinstated for non-payment, we have to fill out the paperwork and send it through for them to get reinstated for non-payment. And that happened last year.
That's what it was.
So, okay, next on the reports, Mr. Burnside.
Mayor, council, I have to tell you that, we did get the line in over on the interstate. It's in. We're not completely finished. We've got cleanup restoration to do, but we're working on it. Wilson Street, we had a main line blockage there. Got our back truck hose stuck up in that line. South Charleston come over. They're going to be working on that, trying to dig that up tomorrow. It's right on the side of the road, on the railroad track side. A lot of field's been put in there, brick and rock. And so our excavator wouldn't go deep enough to get it. So they agreed to come over and help us trying to get that line opened up. The line is opened up, we've got a hose stuck in it. So it'll eventually stop up if we don't get it out there. So we'll be working on it and just trying to stay busy, keeping things going at the plant, keeping all of our excavation work done that we need to get done. And I'll be glad to take any questions.
Still, as a few weeks ago, still on track for January completion. Is that correct?
That is correct. As a matter of fact, they are, we've got contractors working in the Dunbar area this week trying to upgrade our lift stations to make them compatible with the new system that is going in down there. So that work's ongoing right now. We're still on track for completion before January. Now, that's not to say that after January, they could still have some restoration work, blacktop, driveway, sidewalks, whatever, due to the weather. So I don't know about that, but all of the initial piping and stuff should be in the ground and completed before the work.
Next, Mr. Leishman.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, YouTubers. I'll start working on that 215 West Virginia tomorrow. See if we can get done with that. Worked on a couple of neighborhood problems last week. Some of them kind of sorted out, some of them not so much. Still have a big problem with grass and trash and the same old thing. I did get a text message from Greg Wolf today. He said he was way ahead of schedule on recovery and might possibly be back to work Monday. Take it easy, not push anything. But got a couple houses we're working on with Steve. I'm still working with one of the realtors, not the realtors, one of our tax people to get some more that we can tear down. Taco Bell is very near completion. I talked to them today. They're shooting for October 30th, be open. So we're just about done there. That was a $880-some-thousand project. So pretty good chunk of change on the permits out of that. But I'm gonna be still in one of Bernie Street here, not too long, working back alley back here, and do that fine.
Mr. Hughes will be in tomorrow to get schooled on writing citations.
You fold it in half a little bit. I'll show you how to do it. Big things follow. Writing citations, nothing, just go back and check it. Making sure they're compliant. issue there. So keep track of all that stuff. I'm sure Scott will be happy to hear, I've got about 10 remediation work coming up in the next couple of days.
Don't bring them to me this week.
Maybe you can add another 50 by the end of the week.
Probably. I started looking for a secretary today too, started going through some resumes. And I've got 2 applications for humane officer and code enforcement. So I'll be talking to those people. You know, anybody that's looking for a job that's qualified and likes to work, send them my way. It's like,
Let's get on with the code enforcement guy and the humane officer. You got 2, go ahead and see if you got a good one in the batch, and let's go for it.
I got see what we can do. 3 questions here. Payne Avenue, the rest of Payne Avenue, what is it, 1804?
What are you doing in my ward?
Somebody got to do something up there.
1802. Sorry.
You know, we had it cleaned up.
he actually had it cleaned up and we all about had heart attacks.
Well, it's all
Don't
coming
get
back.
excited. It looks just bad as it did.
I went by there Friday just to see if it was still
Yeah,
nice.
We got more stuff.
He's got more stuff out there. I mean, yeah. Martha.
Have you not been by there?
I don't know.
Just mow
She does the utilities there.
it. Okay.
During the day, she leaves the front door open. A lot of times at night, the front door's open. But she has no utilities.
I would hold it all there.
Also, that mess down there in West Virginia at 17th Street, that guy's been working on for 15 years. We'll go get something done.
Those pillars?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. His daughter is actually the one that's pushing that project. Well, she started cleaning it up and then she quit again. I'll get on that road. I walked up to the door and talked to the wife one day. She looked at me and I told her who I was and she just turned around and walked off. So, okay. I thought it was rather unfriendly, but
That's them.
apparently, yeah.
Okay, that's all I got.
Miles.
Oh, just one question, sorry. Hypothetically, if they come in on a Saturday or Sunday to put a roof on a house, is that just because they are wanting to get around paying something?
A lot of times, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if y'all see a big bundle of shingles and stuff sitting in the yard on Friday, make note of it or take a picture of it with your camera, whatever.
Well, I'm glad they put a roof on. Hypothetically, I'm glad they put a roof on. But I just wondered if that's.
Hypothetically, I like to get the B&O and the permit fees for the city.
Okay.
Hypothetically, what they're doing, they're hiring people that are not licensed contractors.
Yes.
It's pretty and it's green and it's nice, but.
Where is it?
Don't ask. We were talking hypothetically. We'll talk later.
Well, hypothetically, text it to me.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Elliott.
Mayor Council, just to let you all know, we're not picking up any limbs or extra trash right now. We're out we're trying to get blacktop from the plant. As cold as it was this morning before he got back, it was getting hard on us. We bought 6 tons. I'm trying to get a hold of West Virginia Paving right here in our back door to see if they will sell it to us. They've denied it before, but I'm still waiting on a call from the guy tomorrow morning. Hopefully he will tell us that. They're running to St. Albans, getting 2 to 3 loads a day and getting it out here as quick as we can. All 2 loads that we got today was bad. They had problems with the machine down there. I didn't get my first load of blacktop till about 9:30. So, you know, I've got a crew sitting here waiting on them to come in. That crew will be mowing until it's back, and then they'll be out there blacktopping. And if they finish blacktopping and it's too close to closing time to go get more, then they'll be back mowing until 2:45, 2:50. That's all I have this week.
God, I got a list of what's left in Ward 1 for you.
The filling the holes,
Yeah.
that's mainly where they were at today, so some of those might be gone, but I'll check.
Your guys were done by noon, I saw them packing up, I went out.
They went to lunch and then come back out.
Okay, wait, just,
Sure,
I'll give it a few minutes.
okay.
Thank you for getting my limbs. I'm sorry.
Check with Bosley or Nations or Rental, see if one of them has a hot box.
Okay.
I mean, that would be the easiest way to deal with it. If we can rent one, it would be worth the money to rent it. And that way you can load that thing up and keep it hot, and you'll get twice the work done.
Yes, sir.
Is that the only problem you had when you said the batch was bad, just got cold?
No, they're not mixing. Sometimes I get a great batch and then other times I get a crappy batch. They were having troubles with the machine before we got there. The first batch we got this morning, by the time it got here, was almost gone. And we can't afford to keep paying for all that to have to dump it in a pile. We'll find the biggest hole we can put it in and layer it down and then put more on top of it to pop up later.
Okay. Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Mayor. Council. I sent that mass, text out last week about the wine cellar raise. We're gonna try and reserves, so we're all still on board. Pretty impressed with it till then. Been doing tri-state racer for about at least 6-7 years. I looked at last year's when we had 36 pre-registered, and that was, Thursday before the race. I had 61. And then I had another 35 that's going to come from Hurricane High School. We could have had close to over 100 runners. Hopefully, right now I only had 3 people that said they can't make it that I'll have to refund. And like I said, we're shooting for Saturday. If we can't have it Saturday, there's just 2 more options. I mean, one is we can do a virtual race, which I did figure out how that is done, or we just cancel altogether. It is fully funded. Right now I'm like $160-some to the good with everything I've had to buy. So like I said, we're going to shoot for that. Citywide yard sale still on October 3rd. Please get the word out to everybody on Facebook, anywhere. Get the people to come in. We've had one person come in and sign up. Usually we start getting them right after the fall festival, when, it would have been last weekend. That's when they all start really coming in. And, the other thing is, I guess I gotta grow my beard out. Because we're gonna have the Christmas parade.
We are gonna have a Christmas parade.
I told him, I said, we ain't having it, I ain't growing. So the Christmas parade, I think, guys, it's first Friday in December.
December 7th, I believe.
Nope, December 4th.
Okay.
December 4th, line up at 6, parade starts at 7. So that is still to go. Other than that, we're still kind of trying to get everything caught up. Basically, it. Connie and Abby's been working on the candy for y'all for the night out. They got about almost all the 5,000 necks opened up so far. Wow. Some of the candy, yeah, we tasted.
It shows.
Talking about
Working on each Christmas.
And, there's still plenty of candy there, so we'll have those ready for you. And then, while I got y'all here, Jim wants to have a meeting for Parks and Rec on 30th at 10 a.m. here at Council Chambers. You, Doug, and John Greg not here, so. And I'll get the agenda out to y'all, get the minutes of the last meeting, I'll probably email it to y'all. And we'll discuss it, meet tomorrow, see what all we want on the agenda. All right, anybody got any questions? Bernie does?
Are you gonna do anything about trick or treat or anything?
I don't control trick or treat. Usually, the city follows what the county does.
Well, I would just, a couple of your sponsors that sponsors, I guess, the Boo Bash or whatever.
Yeah.
They're still interested in wanting to do a trunk or treat or something maybe like that, and they're willing to donate to
When you
give
talking
stuff
about like
out.
HD or,
Corn main,
yeah,
probably,
what's in your water?
yeah.
Yeah, I know right now we can't remove that, that's something in America.
Here's I would say the chances of doing food bags are slim to none, because we put 400 plus people inside the rec center.
Well, they understood that, they just wondered if there was another alternative.
Okay, what they can, the kids' night out is gonna happen. So if the one person that you know who I'm talking about that usually gives us trinkets, go ahead and see if they'll do something for the kids' night out, because the kids are gonna get it, whether it's passed out at the Christmas parade or trunk or treat or kids' night out. I mean, they're gonna get the backpack with the stuff in it somehow.
Right now, it's scheduled for October the 6th.
October 6th.
Over the police department parking lot.
And I would have them get in contact with,
Still want to get in contact with me?
Okay.
You? Okay, that's fine.
It's back to the distance, the 10K run. It really upsets me that we can have a bingo farmer that can run bingo, but we can't have a run where we're going to socially distance people, and
It's even because the Little League had shut down too. The Little League's even had shut down, so they can't play ball outside, but you can go inside the bingo.
Yeah, I mean,
It makes no sense.
They had a gun show over the weekend, and it
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that place was, you couldn't have stirred people with a stick of dynamite. It was so packed in there. I mean, I really felt uncomfortable being in there. I made a quick turnaround, a couple of things, and I was out of there. I mean, I was there for a total of about 15 minutes. I mean, it just, it doesn't seem like there's a uniform measuring stick. I guess what we need to do is have Tri-State Racing run it as a business event. And it would probably be approved as a business event.
Poker run.
But if we run it as a city-sponsored event, we can't do it. I mean, it's like, it's just crazy.
I do gotta say that, trying to get the word out quick as we could. Great with Tri-State Racer. Everybody signs up online, puts their email, so I got to do a mass email. And the ones that signed up through the city, I had their phone numbers, so we called them, each one of them individually. That whole day, I had a caretaker at Wine Cellar sit out there from 6:30 to 8, and I sit in front of City Hall at the same time. He had nobody come out there, and I had 2 people. One person, and both of them were not pre-raced, but it was on Tri-State Racer's website, our Facebook page, and our city webpage. Out of both of those, one guy was a little upset because he didn't see it came from back to the other guy. Was joking around with my son and said, we'll make him run it next week, but he was running Boulevard. But they both said they would be back this week if we still have it.
Anything else for the department heads? Ms. Linda, we'll start with you.
I don't have anything this evening.
Like, I just want to thank Scott, whoever picked up the limbs on 8th Street, I appreciate it. Because they didn't just put them at the curb, they put them in the road and the curb.
We had to use the backhoe for poison oak.
I don't even know where it comes from. I think that one of the houses. But it's like it wasn't there 1 minute, and then they put it out in the road and on the crescent line.
Do they know the difference between Virginia creeper and poison oak?
This was oak. I do know the difference. This was oak.
Okay.
It had a lot of that in it, but it was oak.
I just want to thank all the department heads for doing a great job. I have a little request since we're doing this national night out on October the 6th is we can get some of our staff, which I know we're but they clean that parking lot over there in the police department. Got weeds growing all around everything. I don't really think we need to have a water stand as much as we do just cut and clean up blood. If we could. Be greatly, greatly appreciated.
We just run the street sweeper around it. Help a
I
lot.
don't know, we do it in one work.
Mr.
And we got the weed whacker, I mean, that's really what it is.
Can I borrow the $600?
I mean, I have cleaned up.
Got a lot of
He gave that to the mall supplies and looked her up in the city car.
Ms. Conley?
Have nothing to
Just a reminder to those watching that this Thursday, from 6:30 to 8:30, the Dunbar Women's Club will be hosting virtual Meet the Candidates, which will include most everyone here, plus several other people. I think there's 18 total candidates.
Not me.
One retiree gets out this one. But if I understand the format correct, each council candidate gets 3 minutes, clerk candidates get 3, mayoral candidates get 6, and then if there is time left over, some Q&A where people can type in. It'll be on the live stream on the Dunbar Women's Club's Facebook page. And it's a long handle, but if you just go into Facebook and up in your search engine, just type Dunbar Women with an A. It's not Women's, but Women's Club. It'll pop up. So that's this Thursday. And there's
Fastest way is the CFWC.
The link is on the Facebook page. It's on the city's Facebook page.
They're going to be using our new podium with a speaker in it. I tried it out again today, so I'm gonna take that over to the candidates so they can speak for them.
See, it's been so long since we had an event, you all didn't know we had a new podium. Microphones.
It sounds good just with that one speaker.
Definitely need what budget did that come out of? What's that on?
That came out of the Parks and Rec under supplies.
CBB.
We all really don't want to know the answer to it.
Have got a bill for it yet.
Yeah, you have. We got paid for it a long time
A
ago.
long time ago. Look at your V card days.
It's in your little purchase log that I give you all every 2 weeks along with the.
There's always so much stuff listed for Bob Jones, I can't read it all.
It wasn't no $600, I can tell you that. Got that, new microphones, and new wireless mics for the last one, so now we get to try that.
Yeah, you all said take care of it. It was taken care of. Actually, the cost was phenomenal. It's probably like $350 for the podium and the speaker system and the amplifier.
It's all building.
Wow.
Good job, Bob.
She got the report of it.
It's gonna last, it's gonna last. $300 is awful cheap.
Actually, it's made out of metal.
It's made out of metal. Only bad thing, it don't have wheels, but we gotta carry it, we got dollars.
Oh.
And I got 2 guys, and a heavy.
Good wheels on, like you said, like Mike said.
I'm gonna drill into it, yeah.
I just have one thing, I'm sorry, Scott, I meant to ask when you were talking. Up there to City Cemetery on Woodland Court. Somebody's still dumping grass up there.
Walnut Court?
Or Walnut, I'm sorry, I always say Woodland. Walnut Court, can you go up there and clean up all that mess, please?
I'll get it.
I got 2 people up there just throwing a fit, and I think I've narrowed down who it is, and I'm gonna catch him before the week's over with.
Sorry.
What are you gonna do when you catch them, Bill?
Yeah, piece of my mind.
Actually, just turn him into, you will write him a cleanup citation for cleaning up his mess.
Let's write him a littering ticket, $750.
You got blackboard too, for some reason, I never seen him over there.
He's over there a lot.
He was up there Friday.
I'm hithering y'all.
Yeah, but if you would do that, I really appreciate it.
Do we have a game camera we can put up and get the license plate?
About 6.
I just walk in.
I was just walking down there with them.
We can put one on the tree right over there, you got it.
Mr. Mike? Nothing. Mr. Steve?
I just wanted to ask how the camera, Wi-Fi, and everything, any progress report on that? I know you put it in your newsletter, but I didn't know if it's working fine.
That's there's a camera just outside this door facing down the stairway and up that stairway. So you can see anybody at Vonda's door, the municipal purpose door. Then there's a camera right on the other side of that little wall where the door is that points to the front door, so you see anybody at the Perks Bay window. Then there's another camera over in the area where that doorway goes downstairs that points right at the front door, and it's at an elevation to where you can actually see people's faces and stuff. And then there's one right out here that picks up anybody coming in that way. So we're working out the bugs on recording and so forth right now. And once we get that taken care of, we can add as many to the system as we want to add to it as we see necessary, but really didn't just want to protect the entrances in and out, nothing in the workplaces, just the entrances. So the next thing is, once we get the senior center going, we'll probably put, one, maybe two down there to monitor the doorways down there. So we have one for down there right now, and we'll probably end up getting, it's one of the ones you can tilt and pan. I mean, I can show you on my phone if you want to look at what it does for down there, but I think maybe two fixed ones and one pan one should cover everything coming in on that side over there. And then it'll all interface with.
Do we have to add new Wi-Fi, or do we already have Wi-Fi?
What we did is, if you go out right over top of this door, we added a whole series of nodes to the existing Wi-Fi system because of the concrete walls, the thickness and the way the building broke up. We added several nodes that picks up the Wi-Fi better. So anybody working in the city hall that has access to the Wi-Fi can get good, clear Wi-Fi through the city hall. Then we put a separate router in for the camera system because of the data transmission through it. It'll be Wi-Fi and going through it separately. So if people are on the general working Wi-Fi, you're not slowing down the camera system with the working Wi-Fi. I think those routers are like $170 for the router for the Wi-Fi system, and then there's been some wiring expense and so forth. And the nodes, I think, were another $160, $170. But yeah, as far as electronically, I think we're in pretty good shape. You have good Wi-Fi over in your department now. We have it on this side of the building, and you have it upstairs.
Oh, it's made a tremendous improvement.
And it actually, what YT ended up doing, it's got most of the downstairs covered, but there's a separate Wi-Fi connection for the senior center itself. So when they go back into operation, they'll go back on that one so that they're not commingling with what they're doing into the other Wi-Fi system. So.
Very good, thank you. That's all. Curious.
The caretaker got all three cameras up and working.
So you're monitoring the gate now. Let the words go out.
You're being watched.
Just talk to us, take care of yourself.
Is there a timeline for?
Bathrooms rebuilt, and with COVID-19, with all the restrictions, I don't really see anything in the near future. I mean, we're doing all we can do. We just barely have enough room in here to have a council meeting, let alone, I mean, you could have somebody down at the senior center, but you'd have, time you spread them all out, you might get 6 people in the room down there, and that's not really much socializing.
I've had some people ask, and I just wonder, so. Anything else? Mr. Mayor, for the good of the order, if there's no other city business, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Good job.